What up, though, everybody? This is your homie from Detroit, Jamal Baraka, representing GT Media Reviews. Tonight, I thought I'd just check in. I've been doing a couple reviews that were written. I think I'm going to finally finish reviewing Drowned Earth from 2018. I'm going through my 2018 stack trying to clear that out. It's a damn shame how many comics, how many books I'm behind, how many series that have been around and canceled in the time that I started my blog. But I don't want to get stuck on that. Any book that I review, I try. Any book that I read, I try to review unless it's just something that's absolutely just garbage and has no value. But tonight I want to discuss The Curse of Brimstone. Now, in between getting my 2018 stack, I ran across issue 9 of The Curse of Brimstone. And the thing that keeps coming back to my mind when I read this title from the New Age of Heroes line, and pretty much any title from that line of comics, is how did these books get canceled? Like, I have a conspiracy theory I want to lay out to you guys. What I think happened was that the direction came from the top of DC that they wanted to raise the cover price on these comics. If you don't know, the New Age of Heroes line was Sideways, I want to say Sideways, The Silencer, Damage. You had the Terrifics, and you had a couple other titles that came out under that banner, and all of them were like $2.99. They had the same production quality as the regular titles, mainstream books like Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, or whatever. But these books were like $2.99. So if you were a new reader and you just picked it up, at first glance you would say that these heroes were copies of somebody from Marvel. Like Damage was basically a copy of the Hulk. Silencer wasn't really a copy of anybody, but she reminded me of Gina Davis from Long Kiss Goodnight. Sideways was a blatant ripoff of Spider-Man, but he had teleportation powers instead of using webbing. The Curse of Brimstone wasn't really a copy of anybody per se. I'll get to him last. Then you had the Terrifics, which were basically a ripoff of the Fantastic Four. Now, touching on Brimstone, Brimstone isn't a direct copy of anybody, but the character that he most resembles would be Ghost Rider. So when you're reading The Curse of Brimstone, you keep in mind that he's kind of like Ghost Rider, and he has Spawn mixed in because part of his origin, he has the deal with the devil thing going on too. And what sets this book for me apart from the other titles is that this book has an interesting pitch and it hits the ground running. Like, you don't get a lot of BS with The Curse of Brimstone. He usually gets a plot or a mission or wherever he goes. He goes from town to town. He runs into bad guys that are usually horror themed. And the art is always, well, he had a couple issues that was bad, but for the most part, the art is great. And Justin Jordan knocks this shit out of the park. So I'm reading Curse of Brimstone, and this month, in issue number 9, he runs into Dr. Fate. Now, on my blog, I mentioned a lot of times that before DC Rebirth, I wasn't reading DC Comics. I don't know any of these characters beyond I've seen them before. Like, I know Dr. Fate is basically Doctor Strange. He might not be a direct copy or whatever. I don't even know who came first, but I know when I think Dr. Fate, I think he's something like Doctor Strange. So Brimstone gets into a fight with Dr. Fate, and it's like the whole issue is just a fight. The art is like, it's bad as it's badass, the art from beginning to end. And then what I like is that you have Brimstone going up against an established DC character, and this is something that they did in Damage too. Like, whenever Damage goes up against a regular DC character, he usually either holds his ground or he wins. Brimstone goes back and forth with Dr. Fate, and by the end of it, he ends up having Dr. Fate on his ass. Like, if Dr. Fate almost didn't make it out of this issue alive, and that sets you up so that you know, while you're reading this book, you know just how powerful Brimstone is. And it's just the whole thing from beginning to end, the art, story. And I wish, like, I'm in the circle that I'm in, I end up getting blocked by a lot of creators, but I wish to God that Justin Jordan hadn't blocked me. Like, of all the people that blocked me online, like Gail Simone blocked me, Vita Ala blocked me, a few other people blocked me, but Justin Jordan is heartbreaking because I think I'm probably the only guy that was reading this series, and I get what he's trying to do. Like, it's an amazing read, and it's no BS. It's like, if you like the Mark Miller style of writing where you get a plot, the pitch is interesting, you have action in the book, and then by the end of the book, you get a decent cliffhanger that's like, damn, I got to read the next issue. That's what you get out of the Curse of Brimstone. So a lot of the other books were trying too hard to copy other series. Brimstone is just a good action horror book. Like it's like Spawn, or it's like Ghost Rider, or it's like, even if it's not quite, it's not as good as the Ultimates or nothing like that, but it's that kind of style. Like you have the book, you have the action, and then you have the cliffhanger. And then the best part about it is the book was only $2.99. So it's like, okay, so I'm getting all this stuff, getting this quality of a book, and it's less than the industry standard. DC wasn't promoting these titles for whatever reason. I don't know why they weren't promoting these books, but these books were great. Like The Silencer wasn't my favorite book, but it was interesting enough to where it shouldn't have just went out and nobody cared. Like even Sideways was garbage like the first 5 issues, but the rest of the run was solid, and then it had a good conclusion. And it's like, okay, we have books out here that are trash. The DC sometimes they're better than Marvel, but they put out some trash ass comics. But then you have books that just fly under the radar, and then DC doesn't even promote it. Like there was another book, I'm trying to think of what it is. There were a couple other New Age of Heroes books that were really bad. Like they had the Unexpected, and I read the first issue and then threw it out. It was like it was terrible. But Brimstone isn't like that. Like even looking at this cover, you got the cover, you got Dr. Fate. His friggin' helmet is melting. It's like, what is going on here? It's just great. Like, so the series was canceled back, I want to say the early part of 2019. I'm pretty sure it's been collected in at least one trade, but you may be able to get both trades, and you may be able to find them on discount. I don't think this is something that DC is promoting heavily, so you may be able to go on eBay and get this for like $4 or $5 or something like that. But I implore you, please, you owe it to yourself. Sit down, get the Curse of Brimstone trade, collect the issues or whatever, and get DC. Just let DC know how good the series is, because it was an amazing series. Like it just trips me out every issue. They have a 2-issue arc where Brimstone's going through a town of kids that have been possessed, and the kids have murdered all of the adults in the town. And he runs into like one of these agents, that the same agent that possessed him, and the agent is murdering the kids. Like, what the hell? It's like, this is like, it's like you have just some stuff that you don't expect to see. You got another arc where it's like you have another agent that has possessed an entire town of people, and it's always something like that. The town is just possessed or destroyed or something like that, and Brimstone basically burns everything out because his powers are fire-based. So he keeps saying, his catchphrase, I guess, is everything burns. So he's burning stuff, purifying stuff, and he's purifying any sounds of impurities or whatever. He's doing what the agent wants him to do. And I love it. Like, this is one series where if I'm reading the book, I know I'm going to get a good story. I don't feel ripped off. Even if the story reads kind of quick, it's not like I'm reading the book and then it's like I didn't get any value out of it. Like, you'll have a book that will be similar quality, well, similarly paced out of another publisher, Marvel, and you'll be like, damn, this was not worth my $3.99. Or it wasn't worth whatever I'm paying for it, because you never know at Marvel. It might be a $10 book. And you'll be like, damn, this was like 30 pages of good content, the rest was trash, if that. But I'm going to end this video. If you like this type of content, or you want to touch on, want me to do some more reviews, I'm getting through my older books, and I'm going to try to do more reviews of more current titles than what I've been doing. Like, I'm all over the place, but I pick up a book, I read and review it. Either I'm going to do a video or I'm going to make a recording. If you like this, you want to check out my written reviews, you can check me out on gtmediareviews.com. You can like my channel, you can subscribe, you can comment and let me know what you think about this series. I'm very interested in what other people thought about The Curse of Brimstone. If you picked it up, did you know it was out? Did you know this was a thing? Because mainstream comic publishing, they don't promote their books. Like, they'll mention it and they'll be totally gone. You will never hear about them again the next year. Here's something that I was just thinking about. Did you know, if you made it this far in this video, did you know that Batman Damned was a direct sequel to Joker, the graphic novel that came out about 10 years ago? If you knew that, Let me know in the comments. If you didn't know that, let me know in the comments. On that note, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see me review next. We can go from there. Thank you. Have a blessed evening. Rip Kobe. Peace.